Hello everyone, what you're looking at here today is a 50-inch Casablanca Panama 5 in bright brass, manufactured on May 18th, 1985, was the 516th fan made on that day. I bought this fan from OfferUp when it was originally listed for $1, but then the seller decided to let me have it for free back in January 2021. When I first got this fan, not only the bearings were worn, but the board was having an issue. I replaced the bearings in it, and I called it a day. So the culprit for the board failing was the transistor had failed. So I replaced the transistor, and it got the fan working again, but it wouldn't really work fully on demo mode, so I tried swapping the green resistors out with the newer brown resistors. Those are 10 watt. The top is 450 ohms, and the bottom is 4K ohms. So inevitably the board actually did work. However, it's not fully working right, and when I was about to test it, the ribbon cable somehow fell apart. So I had to replace them with 20 AWG wires. I would go online and buy a 22 AWG solid copper wire, but I had to use the 20 AWG strands before I jumped the bait to buy one. So I had a roll of 20 AWGs lying around, so I called it a day. The board is almost working, but it has to warm up on the initial start, because if this fan hadn't run for a while, the board will start acting up. So I have to get the board to warm up in a certain way to make it work. And since I'm using LEDs, it's actually acts weird with the LEDs. I tried to worm glow, and it worked fine, but with the EcoSmart, it acts weird, but I'm going to use EcoSmart for this video, so I'll figure out how to get the LEDs to stop flickering. So I'll probably swap the triac out on the light, and we'll see how it behaves when I switch out the triac. So I'll see about switching out triacs before going any further. But enough with talking, let's go ahead and show you the close-ups. It's got the B515 Walnut blades on both sides. Has the Hang-Tru 2 downrod. It is not original to the fan, but it has a recall clip inside the recalled Hang-Tru for safety reasons. As always, attempt to install the Casablanca fan on a recalled Hang-Tru at your own risk, but please don't come after me, because who's responsible for having the fan falling through a recalled Hang-Tru? Tag. See that well, but you'll see it in my 2021 video when I first acquired it. Here's the original bearings. You can see they're really bad. And here's the broken set screw from the original 5-blade only rubber flywheel. I was originally intended to switching the flywheel off, or sorry about my grammar, flywheel with a 4-5 blade rubber flywheel from the 1988 Delta 2 that is currently in the computer room. But I was lucky enough to use if I can find my tool somewhere. My wire strippers, I think. I was lucky enough to use the wire strippers, but yeah, I can't find them, so whatever. And I was able to get this out. So I stole the 1/8 Allen key from one of the spare flywheels I have, and I called it a day. This was the original lead wire that went up to the downrod. It was chafed very badly, so I used this 18 AWG wire from the anti-copper New Orleans from 2000 that was in my possession when I repaired it for Matthew Cotterell, which is that fan is no longer in my possession and has already returned to Matthew Cotterell, so check out his video of the New Orleans 2. Now I'll go ahead and demonstrate the fan, starting off the light. As you can see, I'm using 4 EcoSmart 40-watt equivalent LEDs. And they work fine for InteliTouch, but it seems like the board is acting up, which makes the LEDs act weird and flicker sometimes. But I'll go ahead and demonstrate the fan, starting off with speed 1. In order for me to get the board to actually work right, I have to warm the board up in a certain way and try to warm it up for a few minutes just so it can work right. Otherwise, it will act up. So I'll probably have to take a look inside the board again. I'll see if replacing the track for the lights will make a difference. And I'll probably replace some of the components if that also makes a big difference. Putting out a nice aesthetic low speed. That's about for speed 1, now here's speed 2. Now normally when you use LEDs, you're not supposed to use them for InteliTouch. You're usually supposed to use incandescent bulbs for them. However, some LEDs will work fine on InteliTouch depending on which generation of the board it has. That's about for speed 2. Now here's speed 3. And this also has a Hang-Tru 2 downrod. It's not original to the fan. It came from the Casablanca Victorian. If I have not mentioned it, well, I'll show what original coupler is. This is a Hang-Tru coupler, not a Permalock downrod. Come on, focus. Is it? Okay, yay. Came with a insanely long downrod. And it is indeed a Hang-Tru downrod because the thread is smaller. The Hang-Tru 2s, not Hang-Tru 2s, sorry, the Permalocks have a 3/4 inch thread. That's about for speed 3. Now here's speed 4. So, the flywheel is also warped, which wobbles on high speed, which I might replace the flywheel. I do have a Fanimation flywheel lying around, but after that, I'll have to probably use Casablanca aftermarket flywheels because Fanimation just recently discontinued the Islander, Palisades, and the Brewmaster, which all have FTK 2100 motors. Rest in peace. But classic designs will forever live on. But it's this, even though it doesn't really relate to the video, but they were so superior to Casablanca in terms of the flywheel. That's about for speed 4. Now here's speed 5. I'm actually noticed something that the beep on this board actually changes. Or is it really just me? Because I was like, at first, it just has like the high pitch and then lower pitch. And I was like, is it just me? Or is the beep changing over time? I mean, who knows? Right, that's about for speed 5, now here's speed 6. And this fan is whipping out tons of air, like most, if not all, Casablancas using the K55 type motor. And being that this is an Astrosyn motor, it is whipping out so much air, more than the Emerson K55. I mean, the Samsung could really beat an Emerson K55, even though the bearings are savvy crap. But overall, I really can't get over my first attempt of repairing this. Even though I do need to work on it more, it will be worth the challenge to take onto that InteliTouch board. But maybe I might replace the flywheel. Who knows? Now I'll go ahead, shut off, and we'll do a spin down. Panama 5 was their world's finest budget lineup, and it was their common model that they designed on their own. It was designed by Warren E. Dennis, who designed the Century 9000, the Slumber, required heatsink, these kind of fitters, when they were moving away from the Leviton sockets, and of course the K55 in conjunction with Emerson. It was available in antique white, antique brass, antique white, bright brass, charcoal black, bright brass, charcoal black, and antique brass, traditional brown, antique brass, traditional brown, bright brass, antique brass, snow white, Ferrari red, dusty rose, Moroccan sand. I think gloss black. I think I said dusty rose, Moroccan sand, Ferrari red. Yeah, designer gray, black chrome and chrome, bright brass and bright copper, bright brass and snow white. I think I said that. Snow white, bright brass. Southwestern series finishes like pastel Navajo, later named to Navajo white, Navajo pastel white, Navajo white, originally called white Navajo, peach Navajo, and verde. But I will go ahead and reverse it, and we'll start off with speed 1. I believe I'm missing a few, but I know there was verde, textured verde, Florentine verde, textured rust, brushed nickel. Yes, a brushed nickel Panama exists with the exposed hardware, but that has yet to be found. Washed bronze, classic white bright brass, dark bronze, champagne. I think that's all. I may be forgetting some, but yeah, those are the finishes I can list. about for speed 1, now here's speed 2. Oh yeah, I actually now think about it. You have gloss black. I think it'd probably be chocolate black, but that has yet to surface. I'm not counting the one Patrick Neese custom painted it. And the bright brass and Snow White one was Italian Design Series only. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting chrome and brushed pewter. Brushed pewter was number 8. It was originally for antique pewter, but it was reassigned for brushed pewter, and then number 8 was reassigned to matte black. So, yeah. That's about for speed 2. Now here's speed 3. The first were available with Slumber Quiet. Then InteliTouch in 1984. That was the first year release, but there are some early 1983 Panama 5s out there that have InteliTouch. 1991 was the first year for Comfort Touch Panamas. The 5 was dropped in 1980. No, not 1980. 1994. I keep thinking about Slumber Quiet Panama 5. No. I mean, the InteliTouch Panama first release. Switch housing was slimmed down in 1988. Downrod was swapped to a Hang-Tru 2 in 1987. In 1992, they sold the bright brass pastel Navajo, antique brass, Snow White, and Snow White bright brass Panamas to Home Depot up until like 1993. That's about for speed 3. Now here's speed 4. From 1986 up until like 1991, these could also be ordered with 3-speed through special order, like most if not all InteliTouch Casablancas. Somewhere in 1999, that was the last year for the Panama. August of 1996, the Panama was dictated to move to a Hang-Tru permalock downrod due to Hunter acquiring Casablanca in 1996. which also means 1997 was also the year for the XLP 2000 to be in place of the K55 due to the manufacturing plant overseas that Hunter had that was not able to compete with Emerson to use their American parts like the K55. About for speed 4, now here's speed 5. Some of the Gary editions, like bright brass and bright copper and chrome and brushed pewter, those were not available with 3-speed and were only available for InteliTouch only. And some of the Panamas, I think I have a brain fart. Some of those Panamas in specific finishes may only be available with its Comfort Touch only, and some may be InteliTouch only. I think most, if not all, Panamas were available in InteliTouch and Comfort Touch around 1991 to 1999. But some of the finishes were InteliTouch only. Go for speed 5, now here's speed 6. Does seem the wall will more in reverse. I'll say that. But I mean, I am left to no choice but to replace the flywheel and convert the fan to 4 or 5 blades, so I really wish I would keep 5 blade only, just the way it was from factory, but I can't. I have to swap it out with 4 and 5. I don't really care about period correct errors anyways. Now I'll go ahead and shut it off. We'll do spin down. some point off camera, I might try the Philips Warm Glow LEDs to see how it reacts with RMM4. I think I probably made the video longer than what I normally should have made. Oh well, but I'll take this fan down afterwards, and I will see what I can do with the board. I'm trying to see if I can get the lights to stop flickering with the LEDs used. But when in doubt, just always use incandescent bulbs, unless you want to take the risk like I am. But who's to say to be responsible for damaging the boards anyways? I'm not responsible for damaging your board, but that's on you. So, since there's no more Islander, Palisades, and Beermaster anymore, I don't think I can try to source a Fanimation Flower anymore. Thanks, George W. Bush, for signing the 2005 law that requires ceiling fans to be more energy efficient when we already have fans that save so much energy. Why bring ceiling fans in politics? But I really hate bringing politics into the table, but it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. Unless I'm missing images, I will put in the description below. I think washed bronze. I probably said it, but I don't know. So that's about it with the 50-inch Casablanca Panama 5 from May 18th, 1985. Was the 560th fan made on that day. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.